Good morning, all. Good morning, all.
And who's excited for updates, new stuff?
Yeah.
There we go. Share my screen. And then lose all my screens.
And you as well
there we
in the
go.
background. Perfect. Well, should we go for it, Chris? We've got, again, a lot to
Yeah, I
pack
suppose.
in
No,
for
it's
30 minutes.
that thing where you want to give it a minute for people to arrive, but
Yeah.
there's usually so much. Okay, so welcome folks to the November. Good God, it's November. HubSpot update. So we're going to start. We're going to go through our updates again. We're going to start with Spaces, which I don't know how many of you use help desk functionality, but Spaces basically allows you to create specific areas for teams in your HubSpot portal. When I started doing this mock-up, I kind of got it wrong, and I made a nice happy customers and a mean customers zone and then a meh customers. But actually, these are for so that when you're in the help desk, you don't get quite the clutter. You can assign. So my mean angry customer zone, I can actually set this up and assign it so that a specific team's tickets go in here. So they're only seeing their own tickets rather than other people's. So organizationally,
I was going to say maybe it could be a marketing team versus a success team, that kind of thing.
Absolutely. If you go into the edit, you'll see that that I can sort of do this. And actually, it's another reason to make sure you've got your team set up properly in HubSpot, which I know a lot of people don't necessarily do. Okay, we are cooking on gas.
Well, it's one of those things that often changes as well, right? And particularly in some mid-market enterprise companies, that when you first set them up, actually, there are changes that happens, and not always is it reflected in the HubSpot setup.
And I think, and yeah, teams and permissions as well, because all of these new features we talk about come with permissions, and they sneak them in. And then sometimes you find that all your users have suddenly got permission to do something you really don't want them to do. Custom assistants can now read your HubSpot CRM data. So I'll show you how to get here. I'm in my Breeze Studio, and I'm just going to go into the config options for my assistants. There we go. We've got a bit of a work through. We've talked a lot about this sort of this growing functionality over the last couple of weeks, but you now have the ability to decide whether your assistant can read CRM data. So if you're making like a custom guided selling bot, we've got a hand raised.
Yeah. Karen, do you want to pop into the
whack it in the chat or the Q&A?
Yeah.
Yeah, so basically you can allow it to read your records, and the other option you have here is browse the web, which is it's actually not that useful in the assistants, because you don't necessarily want it just randomly browsing the web. Oh, it was an accidental hand. Fair enough. So moving on from there, we've also now got, and this is really powerful, this one, I love this as a feature, your customer agent. If you're using it, the customer agent does use HubSpot credits, but well worth considering the value of it. I think it's well worth it, especially now. So we can access CRM data. So here you can see that my customer agent can access favorite food, and we can go and have a look at our property and make sure it's set up properly. But we can also edit this. So I've got two settings. I can allow it to view property, and I've got data protection, so I can verify or match with email, and I can also allow it to edit a property. So somebody coming to your website, interacting with your customer agent, can update their data. And I think that's really nice, cool update. The customer agent now can also recommend short answers. So it's quite hard to demo this because this customer agent isn't live, but you've got the knowledge base agent, which is looking for knowledge gaps. We don't have a knowledge gap that this agent can resolve, but it's going to list these and it's going to suggest short answers for some of the questions that you're coming up against. Update to the next. We've got app workflow integration insights, I think it's called, if you want to, app workflow action insights, if you want to go in and switch it on. Doesn't sound that exciting. It's not filling us with joy in terms of really exciting, but actually from a technical point of view, if you're in the back end of HubSpot portals all the time, this is absolute gold. So I'm in my connected apps here, and I've just got I've got an app that's connected, and I can go into my app log, so I can see what's been happening. But more importantly, I can see automation insights, so I can actually see that that this particular app is being used in this case one workflow. We've had 6 enrollments, but when you have more complex automation, and you're trying to work out what's connected to what, if you're changing a marketplace app for another one, you're going from one thing to another, you might want to know how tangled up it is. So this is sort of part of the I would call this disentanglement stuff behind in the back end. Really nice for just sorting things out, finding out where things are and what the impact. Still can't automatically take a property out of all workflows that it's in, but I'm sure that's coming. That's usually the question that comes up at this stage. The next one we've got is updated CRM association cards. Again, this is a really, really nice update. We're in so this is a company record, and we can see our associated contacts. And one thing you'll notice is in this case where it typically, I can't remember what it usually has, but in this case we've got our contacts, and we can see their job title, their favorite ice cream flavor, their favorite food, and their city. So we're actually able to we've got scrolling now in here as well. And we've got a search function in this box, so we can search, we can update, and if you go
honestly,
up to your,
I love this one from a sales
this.
perspective.
Yeah.
No, because like when you're maybe looking at a deal and then you're looking at the contacts and you know the contact's missing, and then you have to add an additional one. Normally, you have to then go to view all contacts, the one you want to do, and so this is brilliant. Just that little search thing.
Yeah, the search is brilliant. My favorite bit is this, that you can actually just make, if we want to make it obvious, you can have, let's say we want to make it just a little bit easier. We can have a mobile phone number in there, and we can actually add lots of properties. I've never tried seeing how many. Well, there we go. We've hit the max with 5, but you go in there now, you're actually providing quite a lot of data here. We can sort by various fields, and we can choose the order. So I think this is a really nice feature. So let's have a look. Is it live? I think it's live, and I think it's all hubs and tiers. So go and have a look. And there's also an update coming, which they dropped briefly and then took it away again, which allowed you to sort out this card as well. So it's all part of the CRM customization, which is super duper powerful for adoption. The next one, this is, I am afraid for those of you that don't have enterprise, this is an enterprise feature, but hugely powerful and possibly worth an enterprise seat in a hub all on its own, which is our Pathfinder. So for any of you that are familiar with the customer journey reports, I'll just get back so you can see how to get in. Let's say we're going to create a report, and it's one of our report types, customer journey reports. Careful of the misleading link that they always put there, that for some reason you always want to click on. Always go to next instead. And you've got start with a Pathfinder. So what I can do is I can choose an event, and this has to be an event as opposed to a property change. You can if you go down to the bottom here, you'll see you've got app events and custom events. So you can create an event. This could be call ended, for example. What happens after a call ends? And there's also, you could have a form fill. What happens before? This is really powerful. So, what happens after a call ends? Probably don't have time to let this all run. But I don't know, Amy, how do you, if your sales team would be excited to know what happens after they put the phone down, what do customers do?
Definitely. And I think when you're using the other customer journey reports, actually, if you don't have a lot of experience with them, even if you do, they're actually quite hard then to figure out what you want to see and that kind of thing. Whereas this is much simpler in the way it's set out. So you just pick that one event, you see what happens after this. So yeah, as you say, after a sales call's ended, or after a form's been filled. But you can do this, as you're about to show, on all different properties. So potentially you could do it on, use it on deals to find out what happens after, I know, a deal passes through a particular stage. Loads of applications for this.
Yeah, and even creating a journey on your own. We've got contacts, deals, and tickets, but you can start to imagine what you think that journey is going to look like. Few things we should probably do a whole webinar on journey analytics, but don't remember to, if you are building these out, make your middle stages optional, and various things like that. I'd love to carry on with that one.
Dave's got a couple of questions. Chris, Lover Sankey, can you use it with campaigns?
So, we don't have the option here to use it in campaigns, and actually, there's probably more to come in a couple of minutes on the campaign front.
Yeah, but Dave, to your second question, you could look at the contact and you could see what happens after they've received an email. Yes, so but not the kind of as an object.
And there's I'd love to go down the rabbit hole now, but I'm not going to.
Can I also ask anybody who'd be interested in a training session on customer journey analytics, please pop yes into the chat so we can kind of measure the interest.
Yep.
Thank you.
We won't get told off for suggesting something. Breeze Assistant on the mobile app. Download it, have a look. It's separate from the HubSpot app, but it's really cool. It's like a little assistant. You can ask it, if your calendar's connected, what am I doing today and what should I prioritize? And it will tell you. AI generated ticket language detection. So again, I don't have a demo for this, but the tickets are going to be searching for languages and making suggestions there. Round robin ticket distribution, one of those things you were surprised wasn't there in the first place.
Yeah.
We now have that. And on the subject of things that we probably thought were there in the first place as well, we've got the file manager. Now you can filter by extension. Again, I was surprised this wasn't here in the first place, but we've got file formats. So especially for you marketers out there that struggle to find stuff because people have uploaded videos in different formats or images, HubSpot have got you, as you've now got a much more sensible search.
Yeah, I love
at this point, I think it's I stop sharing and it's over to you, Amy.
Yeah. By the way, overwhelming response to the customer journey analytics. Yes.
Okay. Well.
All right. So the first one I'm going to talk about is a public beta marketing studio. So there's been a lot of all over HubSpot's comms about this anyway. So I'm sure you've heard about it. Now, it's currently available to customers on Marketing Hub, Professional and Enterprise, but the beta is now closed. So if you will need to sign up to the waitlist if you want to join, and I will share this form in the chat. So if you don't have it already, where's my chat gone? Yeah, then you can sign up there. But essentially, I'm going to start move the chat again. We're just looking at the canvas. Now, this, when I looked at the marketing studio and thought, we only have a couple of minutes per update. This one, we are actually doing a session on Friday. So again, let me just plonk the URL if you're not signed up to the session already. So I'll just do a very brief overview here now. And I'll also put in this knowledge base article one.
Amy's really good because she provides all these background materials. I just waffle on.
Well, I just feel like sometimes we go through it so quickly, right?
We do.
But essentially, when you're going to use the canvas, you can start off by creating a new campaign. You're given this guide, or you can skip the step, but you can just fill in these prompts, add files. So, for example, if you have, like here, a campaign brief that you want to update, you can upload it to the marketing studio. You can choose your brand kit if you've got brand kit set up in your hub. Now, portal rather. I have, because I'm a Blue Peter badge winner in real life, done this before, and so I've created this because it does take a couple of minutes to create. But you can see this canvas, and it's fantastic because it's so visual now. So you can see here I've got my campaign overview. We have budgets, all that kind of stuff now in our campaign. So this is the brief that was generated from what I've uploaded. You can see the campaign that I put in there. It's automatically created all these assets because in my brief I said I wanted a landing page, LinkedIn thing, I wanted PPC, etc. So it's picked that all up from the brief, and it's created these assets for me with all the images that I've asked it to generate, that kind of thing. We've got collaboration in the canvas as well. I have left a comment for Chris to SB this landing page for me. I've also just left myself a little post-it note reminding myself the report's going to be signed off later today. So I need, when it has done and I get the final version, I'm going to upload it to HubSpot. So the thank you page will go through to the actual piece of content. So you can see this is amazing. It really, I hope you can see, I'm so excited about it, but it helps with the fragmentation of campaigns. Everything is all in one place, from the initial planning, you can see from the brief, right through to the measurement. So if I quickly just show you a couple of other views here, as well as the canvas, you've got your calendar view. I haven't actually set up the dates for those campaigns yet, so they're not showing, but you can see the idea. You can also view in a board view. So here I can see I've currently got, where's my a form. This is currently in draft, but I can then move it to scheduled or published, etc. You can see that has been assigned by me, but if you had other colleagues working on different assets, you'd see their beautiful faces there if they've got their thing set up, and you can also got it in a table view as well, and you can customize the columns you see here and that kind of thing too, and it means you can just jump directly into them. We've also got, as I mentioned, so I've just gone back to the campaign budget, which is amazing because, again, this is something we've not had previously. So here I said in that campaign brief that I uploaded that I had £100 to spend on this brief. It's created this budget automatically for me, but I can update it and add further budget items. I can then say, right, I've spent this much, so you can see where you are versus your budget. You've got performance, so you'll be able to see, again, once it's published, how far I am towards, for example, an MQL target. We've got attribution as well as tasks. Honestly, I've flown through this, but there's so much to go through. So have a read through that knowledge base link, join us on Friday, and we'll go and dive a little bit deeper. Breath. Right, next one. The apps tab on redesign data integration home. Wow, that's a mouthful. Right, so we're here underneath data management, data integration, and it's just basically a new redesign page here. So alongside your file imports tab, you have also app syncs and data studio syncs as well. Now, before I go further, this is live if you are updated into the Data Studio beta. So I will put the link to the update, and then you can opt yourselves in if you want to this particular update, so you can see it there. But basically, you can see all your data sources in one place instead of having to navigate between multiple interfaces to see what's connected in your HubSpot account. I think particularly for new admins joining an active HubSpot portal, you can immediately see and get a really clear overview of which integrations are feeding data to, for example, your sales reps, etc. So yeah, I think really useful one. In fact, it's a great place to come back to and see all the apps that you didn't know were, or you had forgotten were integrated as well. And yeah, of course, if you're using Data Studio, you can see that there too. Where are we up to? So I've done that one. Let's go. Yeah, this is a really nice one. You'll love this one too, I'm sure, Chris. But in dashboards, you now can drag and drop reports onto a dashboard, and you've got this new side panel. So I'm just on a dashboard. If I click add content and I click add report, this new side panel pops up and allows you to add save reports and templates directly to your dashboard without leaving the dashboard interface, which again, one of those things, like, why hasn't that been done before? Because currently you've got to navigate away from your dashboard, disrupting, your workflow. So this is live. All hubs and tiers have it as well. So nice one, I think. This is another analytics style one. So this is just underneath forms, so marketing forms. You normally are taken directly to manage, but you also have this analyze tab as well. And these reports essentially give you an overview of all your forms, which is fantastic. You can use the filters here to then search for a particular form and see the analytics directly and from that, or there's loads of other filters that you can apply to the entire dashboard too. So you've got AI powered insights and also recommendations. Actually, you can save any of these to your own custom dashboards. You can also edit the reports that are on this Analyze tab, or even replace the reports that are on the Analyze tab with your own custom set of dashboards, your own custom dashboard tailored to your needs. But I'll just quickly show you each section because there's quite a few, so I'll go quite quickly. But you've got the form overview, first of all, key metrics like sort of total views, total submissions, conversions, that kind of thing. Then we've got the total counts, form submissions over time. You've got the form name, then by the pages. Then we've got contact life cycle stage, and then new existing contacts as well. And you can change, as I said, any of these filters for example, the time range and that kind of thing. So again, nice little update. Got a knowledge base article I'm going to share as well too. How are we doing for time? Cool, I've got 6 minutes. Not so bad. I was so worried, wasn't I, about the marketing studio that was going to take all my time. Right. So the next set of updates are all around. I was going to say I missed out one. Here we go. Sales one for you. before we go into automation. So this one I love. So you've got this new column called deal to quotes. So again, if you want to add this, you just go to edit columns and then search for this deal to quotes one. So if I'm looking at my deals, I can automatically create a quote directly from here. Before, I would have had to drill down into the deal, go to the quotes, create quote, and so that's saved me at least 6 clicks, I think. So really loving this one. This is live and it's pro and enterprise for commerce and customer platform as well. But I love this one, small but mighty. Okay, the next section is all about work flows as well. We've got a new overview update. So you can see here, there's loads of different features in this new sort of homepage, which will allow you to see your recently created workflows. You've got AI-powered automated recommendations completely tailored to your portal. You've got an improved AI issues card. You've got HubSpot Academy automation resources as well, all in this one place, just allowing you to get more value out of your automation quicker. Again, like the previous update, available to Pro and Enterprise on the customer platform. If you've got Data Pro or Enterprise, Sales Pro or Enterprise as well. The next one is, I actually just grabbed the screenshot for this one. Yeah. The next one is just like a new workflow creation experience. To be honest, I found this one of the hardest things to get used to in terms of the workflow updates that HubSpot have done, but now I'm over the awkwardness and trying to find everything because I think that it's really valuable, particularly if you don't know, maybe somebody's not as familiar with your HubSpot architecture. They don't know necessarily what object to select, etc. So your first step is not an object type, but choosing the trigger first. So before, I don't know, you might have chosen an object and the trigger might not be available on that object, and you think, oh, it just doesn't exist or anything like that. So I think this is a really useful one. So you can basically search and browse through all the different trigger. If you don't want to bother with that, you can still skip the trigger and then choose records as well.
Top tip on workflow triggers: use a list or a segment. If you're really ever struggling with workflow triggers, segments are your friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Carrying on the workflow experience, there's some new features. So I just thought this would be a good reminder. This AI prompt that you have here, the Breeze one, is super useful. So for example, I just did this because I knew we'd be under time pressure, which we are. I've got 2 minutes left. I've just created a quick prompt and here's the segment that's immediately built, which is exactly what I wanted. But you can see we've got loads more that we can do here. Again, I'd love more time to speak about this, but you've got loads of different things. One of my favorite thing is the flexible object with the and the ors within the segment. So you can do, if you have like a couple different groups, you could do A or B and C or D, or you could do A and B or C and D, all those different combinations as well, all in a single segment without all the messy workflows that you used to have to do. This is all hubs and tiers, and you can opt out of the experience if you want to, but only for another couple of weeks. So my advice is just start getting used to it and playing around with it. again, last thing I mentioned here, you've got this nice manage view. I think I might go over by a minute or so. Everybody apologise in advance. I knew it was going to be tight, but yeah, you've got this little manage view, which is really nice because you can see all the different segments by object as well. So I think that really helps. You've got the filter as well, but just have that visual just makes everything easier to find. We're on to nearly the last one now, I think. So you've got improved, it's called improved, I'm going to read it, organization and search for data variables in workflows, which is a massive mouthful, but basically adding data variables to your workflows is easier. So when I've got here, for example, I've chosen to add an email notification. When I choose to draft the email body, the data panel, as you can see, immediately opens, and we can, navigate everything much more easier as well. So I can search to get the results to show matches across all sorts of data and that kind of thing as well. Cool. I think that was it. Oh, the publish workflow permission. That was the last one, and a small one. So Chris mentioned work permissions earlier. One of the permission updates, which is scheduled for, in fact, today, scheduled for release today. It's a public beta. Before that, is being able to have permission set up to publish a workflow as well. So again, a really useful thing for the admins as well. Cool. I think that's it, Chris.
Well done. You did it. It's like literally 30 seconds. Well
I
done.
think the only other thing we wanted to flag for those of you, I think we've mentioned it before in previous updates. We've got this ongoing training hub series. The next one's Friday and it's on the Marketing Club Hub. So I'll be doing a bit more of a deep dive into that data studio element if you're interested as well.
Sign up, share it, tell your friends. It's going to be really good.
Yeah, brilliant. Whoop whoop from Dave. Thanks, Dave.
Right. Thank you, folks.
Everybody enjoy the fireworks night.
Yeah, until next time.
See you in a couple of weeks.